Hello students, welcome to the orientation session on TSPSC mains. In this session, we'll be discussing Indian economy, which is in part 4 of TSPSC mains. So in the part 4 of TSPSC mains, the paper is divided into 3 parts. The first part is Indian economy, second part is Telangana economy, and third part is developmental dynamics and environment. So when we see the first part, it is Indian economy. So in the Indian economy, how will the questions will be asked by the TSPSC and what are the chapter present in the Indian economy? So we will try to decrypt the syllabus which is given by the TSPSC for the mains. So let's begin the session, students. So in the part 1, there will be in Indian economy. That means in the paper 4 part 1, it is Indian economy. So in the Indian economy topics, whatever the aspects a aspirant should know regarding an economy, whether it may be a country, whether it may be a state, whether it may be any small unit, economic unit, should know all these aspects. So that's the reason why this syllabus is framed in a way that all the aspects of the economy can be covered, and we can every aspirant can understand what is economy actually. So the first chapter of the Indian economy is national income. So for any economy, one of the most important aspect is measurement of their income, because without the measurement of the income, we cannot understand what is the capacity or what is the income of a country or a single unit. So national income becomes a major topic for any country's economy to clearly evaluate what is the income sources, what are the income sources present for that country, how differently the country's income sources are diverse, and at the same point of time, how the country is measuring their national income, what are the methods used by their country. So these are the aspects which come under the national. So in a similar way, they clearly estimated in the chapter 1 the national income. So in the national income, we need to focus and discuss that what is national income, how to measure the income, how to measure the national income, how to measure the national income, what are the methods, what are the different things proposed by different economists to measure the national income, what are the methods, what are the approaches we take. Approaches and methods to measure the national income. So clearly, students, here in this chapter, first we need to focus on national income. What is national income? What are the concepts? How do we measure? Why do we measure in that way only? Because in the mains, it is analysis. In the mains, it is analysis. మనం మెయిన్స్ లో కనుక చూసుకుంటే మనం వాటిని వివరించి రాయాలి, ప్రాపర్గా వాటిని ఫ్రేమ్ చేస్తూ రాయాలి. సో కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మనకి కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్, అప్రోచెస్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. అసలు ఎందుకు ఆ అప్రోచ్ తీసుకోబడింది, ఆ అప్రోచ్ వల్ల ఉన్న బెనిఫిట్ ఏంటి, ఇంతకు ముందు ఉన్న అప్రోచ్ని ఎందుకు వద్దు అనుకున్నారు. సో ఇలాంటి కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మీద మనం వర్క్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే మెయిన్స్లో క్వశ్చన్స్ మల్టిపుల్ చాయిస్ లాగా ఒక సింపుల్ ఆన్సర్ ఉండదు. సో వీ నీడ్ టు ట్రై టు డిస్క్రైబ్ ఇట్. మనం వాటిని వివరించి రాయాలి, ఎలాబరేట్ చేస్తూ ప్రాపర్గా ఆ క్వశ్చన్కి తగ్గట్టు ఆన్సర్ రాయాలి. సో కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్నిటినీ డీటెయిల్డ్గా చదవాలి, డీటెయిల్డ్గా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. So the concept in the national income will be in this way. That is, we need to check what are the measurement techniques, how differently we are getting used for the approaches, and what are the methods. Now, for example, national income approaches, what are the ways we calculate our national income? So when we see national income approaches, simple. We can go it as our national income we calculate in the form of GDP approach. We have GNP, gross national product. Then we have depreciation concept. After depreciation we have GVA, which we adapted recently. Now why did we shift from GDP to GVA? So these are the things which we need to analyze and understand, because in the answer writing major part is analyzation. So without analyzing the aspects, anybody cannot write anything in a proper way. So we need to focus on this. So these are the different approaches for our national income. Different approaches. That means we calculate our national income, different methods are different things. When it comes to methods, we calculate it in the form of product method. We calculate it in the form of income method. We calculate the national income from the expenditures. We calculate the income in the form of expenditures. It's simple. Why do we try to calculate the income in the form of expenditure method? Simple. Suppose if I earn 1000 rupees, I will spend it. నేను 1000 రూపాయలు సంపాదిస్తున్నా అంటే ఖచ్చితంగా దాన్ని నేను ఖర్చు పెడతాను. సో ఆ ఖర్చు చేసే విధానం దగ్గర కూడా మనం మెజర్మెంట్ చేస్తే గనక ఎస్టిమేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కమ్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే క్లారిటీగా నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ఎప్పుడు రూపాయి ప్రాపర్గా ఉండదు. ఇట్ ఈస్ జస్ట్ అన్ ఎస్టిమేట్. రిమెంబర్ దిస్ స్టూడెంట్స్, ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఎస్టిమేట్. ప్రాపర్గా మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఒక వ్యక్తికి ఇన్కమ్ ఎంత వస్తుందని అడిగితే 50,000, 49,000 ఎంతో కొంత చెప్తారు. కానీ ఒక నేషనల్కి ఇన్కమ్ వచ్చేసరికి దాన్ని మనం ఎస్టిమేట్ చేయగలుగుతాం, కానీ ఎగ్జాక్ట్ నెంబర్ చెప్పలేము. సో అందుకే దాన్ని డిఫరెంట్ మెథడ్స్లో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసి ఒక ఎస్టిమేషన్ని తీసుకురాలి. సో ఆ మెథడ్స్ ఏంటి అంటే ప్రోడక్ట్ మెథడ్, ఇన్కమ్ మెథడ్, ఎక్స్పెండిచర్. ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ నుంచి ఎలా ఇన్కమ్ తీసుకొస్తారు సార్ అంటే సింపుల్. ఇప్పుడు ఒకతనికి ఇన్కమ్ వస్తుందంటే ఆ ఇన్కమ్ని తీసుకెళ్ళి ఎక్కడో దగ్గర ఖర్చు చేస్తాడు. ఆ ఖర్చు చేసే ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ని మనం క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకున్నా దెన్ వీ కెన్ గెట్ బ్యాక్ టు ద ఇన్కమ్. So income can be estimated, national income can be estimated. So these are the concepts which we need to focus in the national income. So in our classes, in the mains approaches and mains modules, what we try to do is we will take detailedly every concept. And try to deal it in the form of question and answer. So simple to say, I will be framing the questions, and those questions will be framed according to different aspects. First, we will be focusing on the UPSC previous questions in the lines of our concepts. Second, we will be focusing on State Public Service Commission questions. Like we will be going for APPSC, We will be going for UPPSC, Uttar Pradesh Public Service Commission. We will be going for Madhya Pradesh Public Service Commission, different public service commissions. What are the questions which were asked in the previous years? Because everybody can understand that the question framing will not be coming out of the sky, out of the thin layer. It will not come. The questions will be framed according to some basis. So these type of previous year questions provide initial basics for our answer writing, because we know the syllabus, but we cannot estimate what would be the question asked by the examiner. So we cannot estimate. So that's the reason why we can at least try to know how the examiner is thinking while preparing the question paper, while seeing these kind of previous year questions. So we will be looking at all the mains questions which were asked in the national income concepts. Whether it is UPSC, State Public Service Commission, any examination which has mains. So we will try to get nearer to the thoughts of the examiner, the person who is preparing the question. So we will try to solve every chapter and the concepts in the every chapter through mains questions. Through mains questions. So this is the specific module which will be for the Indian economy for all the chapters. So let's continue the discussion. So first aspect in the chapter 1 is national income, which we discussed, the measurement, etc., etc. Okay, then comes the structure and growth of Indian economy. So the next part in the chapter 1 is structure and growth of Indian economy. Now for the students, we need to focus on not only the present structure, but also the structure of Indian economy before independence, after independence, and present. We need to focus on Indian economy structure before independence, after independence, and present. Then only we will be getting the idea of what is the structure of Indian economy, how we gradually change. For the example, basically before independence, agriculture is the major income resource for the country. But over a period of time, we transited from a situation where agriculture is not playing crucial role in our economy at present. That means the role of agriculture, which is from major as an income source, became or came to a minor prospect. But agriculture is important because it provides basic resources for everyone, whether it may be industries, whether it may be people, it provides basic resources. So agriculture is important. That importance is same for the agriculture, but the production, the income share is decreased. Listen carefully. Here, income share is decreased. We are not saying that income is decreased. Income share is decreased. Why? Because service sector is making more money. Industrial sector is making more money when compared to agriculture. So this is important. Not income is increased. It's not income increased, but it is income share is decreased. We are not talking that agriculture income is reduced. No, we are saying that share of agriculture in Indian economy is decreased gradually. Its importance is not decreased. Its income is not decreased, but Share of agriculture in our income is decreased. That's it. For example, when a person is having, let's assume, when a person is having two or three income resources, income resources, income resources. Now, when they are having three income resources, let's take he is doing a job. Okay, he has some part-time job, and third one is he has some fixed deposits or shares, any business, shares, stocks. Okay, three. Now, job he is getting 40,000. Part-time job he is getting 40,000. Shares he is also getting 20,000. So it is 40, 40, 20. It is 1 lakh rupees his income. His income. But what happened? He has got an increase in salary when he is doing a job. So he got this as 50,000. Part-time job, because maybe he got here increment, he is working more, so he left the part-time job and he is getting zero here. And in the shares, he is investing more, he is earning 30,000. Now see this proportion. The job is increased, part-time job is decreased. Again, the shares income is increased. So we need to focus on increase or decrease in the income perspectives. Share increase. But we never said that agriculture is zero. So here the focus is sectoral growth. How the growth was present in the agriculture, how the growth is present at present in the agriculture, how the growth was present for the industries, what is the growth rate of the industries, how the service sector, which is having very minute share in Indian economy during 1950, shifted towards major shift. How did it shift? Now we need to learn those aspects. So that will be come in the question. Simple. They will be asking the question. Explain how did Indian economy change from agriculture as a major resource of income to service sector as a major resource of income for India. Simple. Explain it. Agriculture was major economic resource. Now service sector became major economic resource. Explain why there is a shift. Explain why there is a shift. Before it was agriculture. At present it is service sector. Now why there is a shift? Why did we shift? We need to explain this. So when we need to explain this, we need to understand what are the circumstances which made Indian economy, agricultural economy, to shift towards service sector. To shift towards service sector. So those type of things we will try to understand in the structure and growth of Indian economy. And the another part is sectoral trends in the national income. So what are the sectoral trends? What is the primary sector trend? What is the secondary sector trend? What is the service sector or tertiary sector trend? So what are the trends in the national income? Why agriculture is increasing? Why industries is secondary sector is increasing? Why their tertiary sector is increasing? What are the service sector orientational programs? What are the primary sector orientational programs? What are the secondary sector orientational programs? For example, one of the great program launched by the government of India during COVID-19 to safeguard the secondary sector. To safeguard the secondary sector. Because service sector, major sector is working from home. No issue. But primary sector, there is no issue of COVID-19 because they clearly sown the seeds. They will be pumping the water to the motor. There is no contacting persons. Everything. A primary sector is also going good. But only sector where the production is decreasing gradually to the lowest levels is industries because we shut down the industries during COVID-19. Now, how to bring these industries back? Because they were in the lockdown for 1 year, they don't have any money. Now, how to create money for them so that they invest this money and bring out the production. So, what did the government? It is a beautiful scheme. The reason is it made secondary sector to bounce back into their performance immediately. To bounce back into their performance immediately. That is production linked incentive scheme, PLI scheme. Production linked incentive. So government said clearly, you increase the production, you increase the production and increase the production in a way that you get incentive. They placed a targets are placed, targets are placed. After placing the targets, they told the companies to reach these targets. Whichever company reaches that target, they will get incentives in the form of decreasing the taxes, in the form of decreasing the taxes. They decreased the taxes, different kinds of incentives were given. So they simply told, if you want to get incentives, tax decreasing, increase your production. So everybody thought that our income is decreased. So if we want to increase our income, we need to do production. At the same point of time, government is saying, please increase your production, we'll give you incentives. So everybody started to work hard. Now, due to this aspect, secondary sector has bounced back after COVID. So we need to see those focuses. We need to focus on these aspects. So this is regarding the chapter 1 of the Indian economy, that is national income. So let's see the second chapter. Second chapter is it is regarding poverty and unemployment. It is regarding poverty and unemployment. See, a country like India, which is in developing state, okay, which is in developing state of the country's income, will have two essential things. Okay, two things which will be common, that is poverty and unemployment. Every day, any country, any developing country, any underdeveloped country, they will be having these aspects, poverty and unemployment. In the developed countries, they will also have, but it has a few share. For example, in India, bottom 30% of the population are living under poverty. So it is developing category. India is a developing country, developing. If you go for underdeveloped, if you go for underdeveloped, if you go for underdeveloped, it will be having 50 to 60 percentage, sometimes 70, 80, especially when we see the African countries where there is occupancy of Sahara Desert, etc. These areas, they don't have proper income resources because of their desert land, etc. So there we see more poverty. But when it comes to developed countries, when it comes to developed countries, it is 10 percentage, 5 percentage, etc. So this is the aspect of the national. This is the aspect of the national income. So in this way, this is aspects of the national income. Okay, so when the national incomes are present in the aspects of developed, developing, underdeveloped category states, the poverty will be varying. So in India, as if we are developing states, the part of poverty will be there. And the reason for the poverty is majorly unemployment. Majorly unemployment. If there is, if there is unemployment, only it can lead to poverty, because people will not have continuous income resources, so their income will be dropping, so it will be going below the poverty line, and they come under the poverty. So again the same here also, the poverty, First, we'll try to see what is poverty. So we'll be focusing on what is poverty, causes of poverty, situation or scenario of poverty in India, how the severity is present, how to decrease it, etc. Then we'll focus on how to measure the poverty, what are the methods we try to use, measure and methods for poverty, what are the methods we try to estimate the poverty, what are the measures we do. Again, similar students, there will be only estimation. We cannot exactly count. Because of huge population, there is only estimation. That's the reason why they clearly tell the bottom 10 percentage of the population. 10 percentage they mention, but exactly not the number. They will not mention as 7 crore, 8 lakh people. It's just an estimation. So these are estimates. Okay. So what are the measures, methods to estimate the poverty, how we will be focusing, etc., etc. And how we brought different approaches, okay, what are the situations, okay, and how to control the poverty. So we will go for how to control the poverty or controlling measures. After controlling poverty, solving poverty. That means we are controlled. That means we are not allowing the people to go below the poverty line. We stop that. Now, how to convert these poor people above the poverty line? So that is solving the poverty. How to solve the poverty? What are the solutions are provided? What are the world's best solutions? What are the solutions we utilize in India, etc. So when we see, okay, it is human poverty index, human development index, multiple dimensional poverty index, which the UNDP and Oxford University has brought it, that is multiple dimension poverty index. Now, how do we measure multiple dimension poverty index in India? Do you think only the people who are having less income are staying under poverty, or do you think that people who are not utilizing or people who are not being to utilize their basic rights are the people who will not able to fulfill their basic needs will be called under poverty. So these are the aspects which will be looking in the poverty. Again, in the similarly, when we see in the similar trends, again, for the unemployment, what is unemployment? What? Okay. Now, why there is unemployment in India? What are the causes of unemployment? What is the present situation of unemployment? What is the present situation of unemployment? Okay. Again, in the what, we will also focus on types. Types of unemployment, what is the present situation of unemployment, etc. We will be focusing in the unemployment also. So what are the ways we calculate the unemployment? How do we say that these people are unemployed? Is there any formula? Is there any procedure or method to calculate unemployment? Everything we will focus on the unemployment also. Okay, so this is regarding the chapter 2. For example, they will be asking a question like this. Our income from the past 10 years has doubled. The gross national product or national income is doubled, but still the poverty or the people living under poverty did not change in huge numbers. Examine the statement. That means income is doubled, but there is still poverty in India. Examine this statement. Why? Why there is still poverty in India? India is now the fifth largest economy in the world. ప్రపంచంలోనే అత్యధిక ఇన్కమ్ ఉన్న దేశాలలో ఇండియా 5వ స్థానంలో ఉంది. కానీ పేదరికం ఇంకా ఇండియాలో ఉంది అనే స్టేట్మెంట్ ని మీరు ఎగ్జామిన్ చేయాలి. అంటే అది కరెక్టా, రాంగా, కరెక్ట్ అయితే రీజన్స్ ఏంటి, రాంగ్ అయితే ఏంటి, అవన్నీ ప్రాపర్ గా చెప్పాలి. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద వే. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇప్పుడు మనం క్వశ్చన్ రాసేటప్పుడు, మనం క్వశ్చన్ అనలైజ్ చేసేటప్పుడు, మనం క్వశ్చన్స్ క్లాస్లో డిస్కస్ చేసేటప్పుడు, క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత దానికి ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ ఎలా రాయాలి, బాడీ మ్యాటర్ అంటే క్వశ్చన్ కి సంబంధించిన ఆన్సర్ ని ఎలా రాయాలి, దాని తర్వాత కంక్లూజన్ ఎలా రాయాలి. సో we will be discussing how to write the introduction, how to make the body format or body matter for the question asked, and how to write a conclusion, because these three play crucial role in determining your marks. So we will try to improve the introduction. We will try to learn what are the things we can place in the body matter according to the question. And we will try to see to give a good conclusion where we can properly summarize our answer. So we need to make a conclusion in a way that examiner, whenever he collects, evaluator who corrects the paper, should obviously look at the conclusion and get a good marks. And so that you will be getting a good marks, because he need to like a conclusion, and that conclusion will always be in the neutral path. So this is the way we will try to solve every question from every topic. And simple. In these modules, you will be getting the topic wise question and answers, discussion videos. At the same point of time, we will be giving some practice questions also. You can practice it. Suppose if it is regarding poverty, we will discuss 5-6 questions. At the same point of time, I will be giving you 3-4 questions. So for each topic, if you maintain these type of questionnaires, whenever you see some question in the mains, you can just write it in a flow, because mains has 3 hours of time. Now in the 3 hours time, you know what are the questions. To complete compulsory questions, and rest 3 are the internal choices. So you need to focus and minimize the time, and practice in a way you write a perfect answer in minimum time, not maximum time, because we need to attempt all the questions. Okay, that's the fact. So let's move on to the third chapter, that is money and banking. So money and banking also plays a crucial role, because without money, the economy cannot survive. So it plays a crucial role in any economy to clearly survive. Okay, so now let's see. First, when it comes to the money matters, first important is, what is money? Now in this money, what are the types of money, evolution of money, etc. will be asked. Next, after money, it is the thing. Now we get to know what is money. So what we need to learn is, now this money, where the money is present in different circumstances. So money, whenever it is present in some places or any place, it is called as money supply. Money supply. Now we will try to measure the money supply. We'll try to measure the money supply. So what are the money supply concepts? How do we measure money supply? Concepts of money supply, measurement, measures, and why do we require the measure? Why do we require? Simply print the currency or print the money, give it to the people. No, why do we require that measures? Why do we try to measure the money supply? Okay, so this is regarding money. Now, where do people get this money? Every person in India can get the money from the banks itself. For example, students, when in 2016, when the demonetization happened, everybody went to the banks to exchange their currency, giving them the old currency and getting new currency, giving them the old currency and getting new currency. That was there. Now, how did government has announced we are removing the old currencies of 1,500, we are sending new currency note that is 2,500. Government announced, but how did it sent? Does it come under the mandi markets and distribute to the people? No, they distributed it to the banks. So for the money, the next important aspect is good banking sector. మనీని ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడ మార్కెట్లో కానీ మున్సిపాలిటీ ఆఫీస్లో కానీ ప్రజలకి డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయరాదు. కాబట్టి మనీని వాళ్ళ డబ్బుల్ని బయటికి పంపించాలంటే పంపించాల్సింది బ్యాంకుల ద్వారానే. So that's the reason why after demonetization, everybody went to banks to get the new currencies. So next important thing in this chapter is banking sector. Banking sector. So this is important. Again, banking sector. When it comes to banking sector, what is history of banking in India? How we started banks? What are the banks which are present before? Did India only established the banks? Are banks there in India before independence? Who established first bank in India? Where did the concept of bank came from? Now, after independence, how our banking structure is present? Now, how the banking structure is present. So we need to focus on banking history. After banking history, then we need to go on to the financial sector, where one of the aspect is banks, then second comes the non-banking financial companies, developmental financial institutions, banks, non-banks or non-banking financial institutions, which we call it as NBFCs. Then comes developmental financial institutions like NABARD, SIDBI, So we need to focus on them. This is the procedure, and these are the aspects through which we focus on these things. So this is financial sector, then we go on banks, non-banking financial, etc. Now after that, we need to focus on what are the reforms which are brought in the banking sector. How did we evaluate it, or how we evolved as the best, one of the strongest banking sector in the world, specifically towards the operations? We have such huge sector. We have so many branches, different kind of banks. So with the less banks, now we are one of the country where there are more banks present. Branches are present. So how did we do? How did we reform? Okay. Next, the important aspect of banking sector is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Without Reserve Bank of India, the banking sector could not be present at this situation, because RBI acts as a regulator. So without this regulator, nobody can work in a proper way. So RBI acts as a regulator for both the public sector banks and private sector banks. And it try to see that everybody is working in a proper way by issuing rules and regulations, etc. So RBI plays a crucial role in the banking sector of India. So that's the reason we'll go for RBI. Okay. After RBI, we will see what are the functions of RBI. We will see monetary policy. We will see monetary policy committee. How does the committee sets? How does the monetary policy changes? Does it changes monthly? Does it changes bi-monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or annually? We will focus on those aspects. So that is in the money and banking sector. So this is the chapter 3. Again, let's go to the fourth chapter, that is public finance. Simple to say, students, public finance is nothing but simplification. Public finance is nothing but it is talking or focusing on the aspects of budget. It is focusing on the aspects of budget. So what happens is, if any person is estimating a budget, his budget, let's assume if I estimate my expenditure, I estimate my expenditure on the basis of my income. So any budget, any budget will be having two things: income and expenditure. It will have two aspects: income and expenditure. Simple. Without expenditure, income cannot done and income cannot be accumulated. Okay, so expenditure should be done and that expenditure should come from the income. So these are two balancing situations. Without income, anybody cannot spend the money. So income and expenditure comes. So simple. So here in the public finance, it is government budget. Government budget. Now, government budget, simple. Income of the government, expenditure of the government. Where does the government get income? It gets income from the taxes. Tax structure of India, central and state taxes. Taxes. Again, there are some non-taxes also, which we'll discuss in the later times. Now, expenditure. Where does the government spend the money? It spends the money to the public. It spends the money on infrastructure. It spends the money for salaries. So this is government expenditure in terms of revenue, capital account. Okay. Now, do you think that Indian government's income can complete all the expenditure aspects or can fulfill all the expenditure aspects? No. Government of India income ఏమో 40,000 కోట్లు ఉందనుకోండి. గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఇన్కమ్ ఒక 4,00,000 కోట్లు ఉందనుకోండి. అటు ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ మాత్రం 4.5 లక్షల కోట్లు ఉంటుంది, 4.5 కోట్లు ఉంటుంది. సో ఇఫ్ ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియాస్ ఇన్కమ్ ఈస్ 4 lakh crore, the expenditure is 4.5 lakh crore. Now, how it is filling this gap? How it is filling this gap? The income is 4 lakh crore. The expenditure is 4.5 lakh crore. That means expenditure is greater than income. Now, how it is fulfilling this 0.5 lakh crore gap? By taking loans. So this is public debt, the loan taken by the government. Its composition, internal and external debt. How the internal debt is present, how the external debt is present. So this is the things which we need to study in the Indian government budget. Next comes the different policies. Next comes the different policies. Monetary policy, which is regulated by RBI, which is given by RBI. Fiscal policy by the government of India. Monetary policy by RBI. Fiscal policy, government of India, that is finance ministry. Union budget, again the government of India's finance ministry. We need to analyze the budget, where the expenditure is done. If you see the prelims of TSPSC Group 1, they clearly asked the budget analysis of Telangana. Which areas are having the more allocations? Write it under ascending order, increasing order. So they give the options. So that is budget analysis. That is budget analysis. So we'll try to focus on what are the taxes, how the government is getting the income, how the government is distributing the income to the states, how the government is taking the loans, what is the process of taking the loan, how much internal loans we have, how much are external loans we have. We'll focus on all the aspects. We'll focus on present monetary policy. We'll focus on present fiscal policy. We'll focus on budget. Now see, the government of India like the speculations are coming that in the July month, the government will be announcing the budget for the 2024 and 25 year. Now we will discuss those budget analysis also. So we'll include all the reports, all the things along with the current affairs in our module. So the last chapter in the Indian economy is planning in Indian economy. Simple aspect. We can expect a compulsory question also, and it is linked with the first chapter, because in the first chapter we'll study sectoral trends, how agriculture income share decreased, how service sector share increased. This is we'll be studying from the history only, from the since independence onwards. So it is one of the aspects since independence which is present, and it is one of the most important aspects in the Indian economy, because any economy cannot be run without planning. Any economy cannot be run without planning. So we require planning. We require planning. So how planning is present in India? How did we introduce the planning system? Okay, who plans for our Indian economy? Which sector to grow, which sector not to grow? Everything will be decided according to the planning only. So initially, the planning was under the control of the Planning Commission. Now the Planning Commission is removed and Niti Aayog is performing the aspects of Planning Commission. Now, why there is a requirement of shifting? Why there is this requirement of shifting? From independence, it is working properly only, no? Why to shift now? So, the reasons of shifting, we need to know it. And we need to know what are the differences between them. We need to know what are the differences between them. When only we know the differences between them, then we can easily get to the things. Okay, so we need to understand the differences, why did I shift, etc. Then what are the planning things? What did they plan? So initially, Planning Commission was present. It planned 5-year plans. 5-year plans, and the last 5-year plan was ended in the 2017. 2012 to 2017, the last 5-year plan was ended. So we'll see all the 5-year plans, their achievements, their strategies, their priorities. At that time, why did they give the priority to that sector only? We will analyze every aspect, students. We'll analyze every aspect. Why did they give importance for only agriculture? Why did they give importance for Garibi Hatao? Everything we will analyze. For that situations, what are the options available for the planners at that time, and how did they choose those options, and what are the achievements of the 5-year plans, and how the 12th 5-year plan was present in detail, and we'll focus on the Niti Aayog, how the Niti Aayog planning is now, it is performing, what are the different reports given by the Niti Aayog. We'll focus on that. In the planning in Indian economy, the next part is simple. It is regarding the 1991 LPG reforms, liberalization, privatization, globalization reforms. So we will focus on what are the first, why do we require these reforms? What are the reasons that we implemented these reforms? And how did it change our economy? How did it change our economy? I am saying change. So change contains two. One is positive change, second is negative change. How did it change our economy? Is it a positive change or is it a negative change? So we will focus on these aspects. So we will focus on these aspects. So simple to say, students, these are the topics which are present in Indian economy paper 4 part 1. Okay, we will try to discuss all the topics. We'll try to discuss all the topics in the format of question and answer. In the format of question and answer. All the topics, question and answer, question and answer. For example, when it comes to the planning, what were the objectives of 5-year plans? What were the objectives of 5-year plans? Okay, so this is the question. What were the objectives? So we will discuss every 5-year plan. First plan, second plan, third plan, fourth plan, and its objectives. Why did they give importance for the objective in the answer format? In the answer format, that's it. Syllabus is same, discussion will be same, but it will be in the form of question and answer, so that you can remember the question and write the same answer if it is asked in that examination. At the same point of time, again from the same topic, we'll be going for practice questions also. We'll be going for practice questions also. So this is the aspect of our Indian economy and how we will be dealing this, and how we will be dealing the module of Indian economy. Okay. Thank you.